I am ashamed that Mr. Darden would allow himself to become an apologist for Mark Furman. Who are any of us to testify as an expert as to what words black people can or cannot handle?
Simple explanation. He broke up with his mistress.
Who is it?
How the hell do I know? He's got no goddamn head.
You may think I'm crazy, but I'll bet that magma displacement was actually some new Russian sub, and it's headed for the Iceland coast.
You know who you are. You were a good boy, and you're even a better man. Don't you ever let them make you question yourself.
My father died in 1990. Is my daddy right there.
Look at him.
And my mother to the left there. And then we went through that with my mom and my sister, but my godson died of 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2020.
2020. And I said, that's enough.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to stand alone when the world turns against you?
He's standing for love and peace. Let's see how he stands for it when the world it looks like it's going to come down against him.
Courtney B. Vance knows that feeling intimately. Born March 12, 1960 in Detroit, Michigan, this Emmy and Tony Award-winning actor has lived through moments that would break most people.
The American Theater Wing in the Broadway League, I'd like to thank my wife, who gave me the nod, Angela Basset, to do this role.
But here's what you don't know. The night that nearly destroyed his marriage became the foundation of everything he is today.
I know of a good psychiatrist, and I heard that, and I was in the bed, and tears rolling down my face, feeling all of failure as a man and a husband, and the Lord spoke to me and said, are you ready now?
And what he revealed about that terrifying moment will leave you speechless. But before we get to that shocking confession, there's something else you need to understand about Courtney. 2 devastating family tragedies shaped his entire mission in life. And the second secret he's been carrying will make you see everything differently. Courtney B. Vance grew up just 8 houses down from Hitsville, USA, the legendary Motown headquarters on West Grand Boulevard.
We lived 8 houses down from Hitsville, which is Motown, which is a museum now. There's the 2 buildings there, and when we go by there, it's packed over there all the time. People go in there, but we would go there and sit. It was just because where we lived.
At 6 and 7 years old, he'd sit on those steps during sweltering Detroit summers, watching people flow in and out. He had no idea he might be seeing Smokey Robinson, Marvin Gaye, or Diana Ross.
I don't know. So we may have seen, just regular folk coming out, the engineers, or we may have seen, Smokey or Marvin Gaye or whatever, or Diana. We don't know. We were just sitting there, hey.
He was just a kid looking for something to do. But Detroit in the 1960s was more than music and dreams. In 1967, when Courtney was just 7 years old, tanks rolled down his street. The Detroit riots erupted after police raided a black bar where people were celebrating Vietnam veterans returning home. Young Courtney watched his city burn. His father, Conroy Vance, managed one of Detroit's first major supermarkets. When rioters torched the store, everything changed overnight. Conroy had to pivot, leaving management to become a foreman on the Chrysler assembly line before eventually working in benefits.
My father had to shift and, we began working for, I believe it was a foreman on the line for Chrysler. And then he segued into benefits over at Chrysler. That's where he ended up. So.
We grew up around all black people, Courtney later reflected. We grew up with Motown music, James Brown, Aretha Franklin. And the shifts happening with Black Power. People used to conk their hair. Then suddenly everyone went natural. It was a whole movement within that city.
When the riots happened, people were so mad, so incensed. Detroit has got a history with the police that is not good at all. And they burned the store down.
But here's where Courtney's story takes an unexpected turn. His parents, Conroy and Leslie Vance, a grocery manager turned benefits administrator and a librarian, made a decision that terrified them. In the summer of 1969, Detroit's first black mayor, Coleman Young, told white residents to leave.
Summer of 69, when Coleman Young told the white folks to leave, they did. And our neighborhood shifted overnight from all white and a smattering of blacks to all black and a smattering of whites. And my mother and father realized they would never get their money out of the house.
Property values plummeted. The Vances realized they'd never recover their investment. Leslie and Conroy watched their sons starting to fight at the local public school. Mid-semester, they pulled Courtney and his older sister out and enrolled them in Catholic schools.
We started fighting in the school. Still got our great grades, but we started fighting, and they pulled us out mid-semester and put us in Catholic schools. My mother's library was a librarian, one of her best friends.
Then came the summer camp counselor who changed Courtney's trajectory. The counselor taught at Detroit Country Day School, Michigan's premier private institution. He told Leslie that Courtney could get a scholarship. Courtney took the entrance exam for 7th grade going into 8th and failed. He tried again for 8th grade going into 9th. This time, he got in. From Detroit Country Day, Courtney landed at Harvard University, where he studied history. But something unexpected happened in those hallowed halls.
I applied for the 7th, I took the test for 7th grade going to 8th grade, passed it, but for some reason they didn't let me in. I repeated it for the 8th grade going to 9th grade, got in, and the rest is history. Harvard, Yale.
He had 3 lines in his high school senior play. His drama teacher, Mr. Ronnie Clemmer, told him, "Please make sure you continue doing this at Harvard." Courtney started as a track athlete, a hurdler and long jumper, but halfway through freshman year, he realized he wasn't having fun anymore. He came over his last hurdle and told his coach, "That's it." Then he started auditioning for shows.
And then I realized this is not fun anymore. I'm not doing what I said I would do. I'm not meeting people. I'm with the same group of people. So I came over the last hurdle in my freshman year, and I said, "That's it." I told my coach, and he was upset with me, but he understood. And so I came back and I started auditioning for shows.
After Harvard, Courtney headed to Yale Drama School. There, he met the man who would define his approach to acting, Lloyd Richards, the pioneering black theater director from Toronto, who cast Courtney in August Wilson's Fences.
How come you ain't never liked me?
Like you. Who in the hell ever said, I got to like you?
Alongside James Earl Jones.
He basically said that if I cast you in something, I know you can do it. I'm not going to baby you. So there was no, and I'm sure he probably, while we were doing the play, he probably told them not to talk to me.
And here's what Lloyd did that Courtney never forgot. Lloyd cast Courtney as the 17-year-old son, but instructed the rest of the cast not to talk to him. For weeks, they ignored him. Courtney would try to join conversations, and they'd turn away. He got it. He understood what it meant to be isolated, to be the kid nobody wanted around. Then Lloyd gave him an assignment that would shape his entire career. Find 2 physical gestures of James Earl Jones and put them in the play. Courtney found them. He knew exactly where they went. Lloyd never revisited it, never praised him, never even acknowledged it again. Because Lloyd knew, and Courtney knew, that the work spoke for itself. From there, Courtney's career took off. The Hunt for Red October with Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin.
You may think I'm crazy, but I'll bet that magma displacement was actually some new Russian sub, and it's headed for the Iceland coast.
The Preacher's Wife with Denzel Washington and Whitney Houston.
Point is, Mr. Kingman won't wait. Now you go. Tell me all about it later. And you make sure you tell her I'm sorry.
Space Cowboys.
And yes, one size does fit all. But just in case, gentlemen, there's a diaper underneath your pressurized.
Terminator Genesis.
Danny is the best there is, and even he can't decipher some of the enhanced code you've integrated into Genesis. I just know it works. Cyberdyne owes you, John.
Broadway's Lucky Guy opposite Tom Hanks, which earned him his first Tony Award after 3 nominations. But here's what most people don't know about The Preacher's Wife.
I was so excited. My whole family was excited. And then the chance to work with someone that I just love. Number one, of course, Denzel, but Whitney Houston, that was my girl.
That film became more than just a career milestone. It was where Courtney's personal and professional lives collided in the most beautiful way. Because by then, he'd met Angela Basset. Their first date was a disaster. Angela has said publicly that it didn't go well at all. They were friends, both dating other people. When they finally went out, the evening ended awkwardly. No kiss, no hug, nothing.
Said that your first date, however, didn't exactly turn out so well. So what went down?
What'd you do?
It was, we were friends, and so we were dating other people.
But Courtney's friend Henry Warnitz pushed him. "You should date her, Court." So Courtney tried again. He was playing golf at the time, so he invited Angela to the driving range. "I don't play no golf," she told him. "I'm just learning," Courtney replied. "Come on, let's go." Then he got behind her to show her how to swing. And it was over. They shut down restaurants for the next week, talking until closing time every night. On October 12, 1997, Courtney B. Vance and Angela Basset got married. But 26 years of marriage hasn't been easy, and what happened next nearly ended everything. Years into their marriage, Courtney found himself lying in a hospital bed at Cedars-Sinai. He'd had an anxiety attack, a nervous breakdown. Angela stood nearby with their doctor, Dr. William Young, whispering. Courtney could hear every word. "There's nothing physically wrong with him," Dr. Young said softly, "but I know of a good psychiatrist." Courtney lay there, tears streaming down his face, feeling like a complete failure as a man and a husband. Then the Lord spoke to him. "Are you ready now? I've been waiting for you. Are you ready now?"
I heard that, and I was in the bed, and tears rolling down my face, feeling all of failure as a man and a husband. And the Lord spoke to me and said, "Are you ready now?
Wow.
I've been waiting for you. Are you ready now?"
"Angela, let's go home," Courtney said, sitting up. "But Courtney," she started. "Thank you, Dr. Young, let's go." He went home and read the Bible cover to cover. While he read, He kept taking care of everything, going to the flower mart every Tuesday to get Angela's favorite flowers, managing the household, working, doing everything he'd always done. But in his spare time, he was in that book. Angela watched him. She saw that he was becoming the man he'd always said he was. And then their marriage turned.
But in my spare time, I was in that book. She saw me, and she saw that I was the man that I said I was.
We started to compete to see who's going to do more for the other one, Courtney revealed. I was going to do that. No, but I was going to do that. No, but I'm going to do this, Courtney.
I learned that 1 Peter 3:7, live with a woman according to knowledge that she's the weaker vessel. Not weaker meaning strength, because she's stronger than me. Anyway, that they're emotional. Women are emotional.
Yes, we are.
That verse transformed everything. Anytime I'm trying to pray, and if I don't take care of her emotionally, my prayers are hindered, Courtney realized. I said, Angela, what you need me to do, what you need me to do, where you need me to go. Instead of focusing on what she wasn't doing, he asked, what are they doing and how can I help? For their 25th anniversary, Courtney threw Angela an epic backyard party with hosts Tabitha Brown and Slater. But here's his secret to keeping the magic alive.
What you need me to do, baby? Am I going over here? Am I going over there? So I go on the zeros.
Okay.
That's when I go for it. On the
the
zeros
30.
and the fives.
I go on the zeros and the fives, he said. You top it on the 30, on the 30, on the 27. You just hang and be glad. What you need me to do, baby? Am I going over here? Am I going over there? On January 27th, 2006, Courtney and Angela became parents to twins, Bronwyn Golden and Slater Josiah, born via surrogate. Now those twins are 19 years old, applying to colleges, and preparing to leave home. We're just supporting them, Courtney said about their children's future. How do you know at 14 or 19 what you want to do? Unless you know you want to be a doctor or engineer. Get your education and see where it goes. But while Courtney was building this beautiful family, he carried two devastating secrets. Courtney's father, Conroy Vance, died by self-unaliving. Depression consumed him, and he couldn't find his way out. Years later, during the pandemic, Courtney's godson also took his own life. These two losses became the foundation of Courtney's most important work, advocating for mental health, particularly for Black men. He co-authored The Invisible Ache with Dr. Robin L. Smith, offering Black men a guide to identify and process their pain. We all need to sit down on somebody's couch and talk it through, Courtney insists. Black men need to seek therapy and view vulnerability as strength.
The shame and the pain of it, Reverend Al, is that we don't talk about it, that we leave it buried and try to pretend like we're okay. We're not okay, and that's okay. To actually admit that we have something that is controlling our lives and that we really, really need some help.
But that's not the only health crisis Courtney has faced. After caring for his mother through ALS, he became a fierce advocate for research and awareness, calling it a horrific illness and urging everyone to be a voice for those suffering. In 2016, Ryan Murphy cast Courtney B. Vance as Johnny Cochran in The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story.
It was one of my very first cases. Unfortunately, the first of many. It was a terrible thing. Leonard's only crime, the color of his skin.
Some questioned the decision. Why would Courtney play such a controversial figure? But Courtney understood something crucial.
That was what my parents did with me, and that I knew that he was someone that had to get in there and figure it out and navigate in uncharted waters and find his way and make people feel okay about who I am. I'm okay.
He didn't watch any footage of Cochran. He didn't study his mannerisms. Instead, he learned one fact. Johnny Cochran's mother put him in an all-white school because she knew he could handle it. That was what my parents did with me, Courtney realized. I knew that he was someone who had to get in there and figure it out and navigate in uncharted waters. I recognized in him me. Courtney read Jeffrey Toobin's book, The Run of His Life, 3 or 4 times. Then he said, I got it, let's go. The performance earned him an Emmy, a Critics' Choice Award, an NAACP Image Award, and nominations for a SAG Award and Golden Globe. After decades of quietly building one of Hollywood's most respected careers, the world finally caught up. That success prepared Courtney for the next phase of his career. He joined HBO's Lovecraft Country as George Freeman.
Nothing wrong with loving that much.
Need to shut up and rest.
That's the problem. I've been shutting up for far too long and hurt those I love.
A character who makes an impossible choice, standing up for a young man when his entire community turns against him.
A prostate cancer issue. So there's so many conflicting issues that it's one of those situations where, based on it, the whole community has to decide which way we're going to go.
There are certain people that the whole community has their hopes and dreams in. Courtney explained about his character in AMC's 61st Street.
A little over 7,000. That's the number of people I've represented the last 30 years in 26 in Cal. 90% of it I don't remember.
If anything happens to them, the whole community is rocked. I made a decision that this young man isn't going down. Based on that, let the chips fall where they may. But Lovecraft Country ended after just one season despite critical acclaim and Emmy nominations. Why? Courtney offered a revealing answer.
It was a black woman created it. And it was HBO's show. But it's her show. It's a power struggle.
It was a black woman who created it, Misha Green, he said carefully. There was a power struggle from the beginning. The show became huge, the next Game of Thrones, which is what they asked for. But the show ended with a young black girl shooting a white woman and saying, "We got the keys. You don't got the keys no more." For the next 4 to 7 years, who knows where Misha was gonna go? Do they ultimately want their next Game of Thrones to be such a black show? The question hangs in the air, unanswered. Today, Courtney continues choosing roles that matter. He joined Disney Plus as Percy Jackson and the Olympians as Zeus, honoring the late Lance Reddick who was originally cast. He narrated the W.E.B. Du Bois biography, connecting America's past struggles to today's fight against book bans and social injustice. He appeared in Ben is Back with Julia Roberts, Netflix's Uncorked, and the romantic drama The Photograph. On December 16, 2025, Courtney received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 7007 Hollywood Boulevard. Angela, Bronwyn, and Slater stood beside him as FX Network's chairman John Landgraf spoke about Courtney's extraordinary career. But Courtney's focus remains on the work that transcends Hollywood. He's an ambassador for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. He speaks openly about mental health, urging men, especially black men, to seek help without shame. He fights against book bans and censorship, believing that talking about our painful history is the only way to ensure we don't repeat it.
We can't even talk about books. They're trying to take books away so that white and black young people won't be able to talk about. Just let them talk about it.
You have to talk about your differences until your differences don't make a difference, Courtney says, quoting Dr. Johnetta Cole. George Washington was amazing, but he had 100 slaves and didn't free them until his wife died. Jefferson had 600 slaves. I don't take away from what he did, but you've got to acknowledge what he was, to see the entire picture of who we were at that time, so we can learn and not do it again. And when asked about the Will Smith-Chris Rock Oscars incident, Courtney offered wisdom born from his own struggles.
At what point are you going to come to men, going to come and sit down and, okay, let's talk. All right, I'm not getting, okay, all right, shake hands. All right, yeah, okay.
What's the pivot? How does he react to this? Sometimes you just got to take a pause, let people cool their jets, and say, I'm going to take myself out of the equation. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with it. When you stand for truth, you just don't know. As of 2025, Courtney B. Vance's net worth stands at approximately $25 million. A testament to decades of consistent, excellent work across theater, film, and television. But the numbers don't tell the real story. Courtney's Mount Rushmore of actors? My Wife, 100%, Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Denzel.
The craft of it, everybody can look at the same material, but some people have the gift. He has the gift. Angela has the gift. Meryl has the gift. I just acknowledge that.
And about Angela not winning the Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It in 1993. She's gonna get hers, and when it happens, it'll be even bigger. Everyone knows. Lips are all tight. When it's her time, the world will lift her up. And I'll be right there, our children will be right there, the village will be right there, and it'll be a worldwide celebration. That's the kind of man Courtney B. Vance is. Patient, faithful, committed to the long game.
The joy is people.
Really? It's not the performance?
It's the people. The performances are made by the experience. What Dean was able to set up for us.
When asked where the joy comes from, Courtney's answer is simple. It's the people. It's not the performance. The performances are made by the experience. If the environment's not right, we ain't going to be right. If you say to people, this is my idea, make it better. Wow, everyone can fully embody the moment. And if we're all allowed to embody our moments, the project just grows. He paused, then smiled. It becomes Lilo and Stitch, which will potentially blow the roof off our weekend with Mr. the Other Tom, Tom Cruise. They call him Lesser Tom in Canada. Even at 65, Courtney approaches new roles with the same curiosity he had as a kid sitting outside Motown. He played Cobra Bubbles in Disney's live-action Lilo and Stitch, and his twins, who once found the animated version scary, finally came around to appreciate their father's work. But beyond the roles, beyond the awards, beyond the Walk of Fame star, Courtney's legacy is about something deeper. It's about standing up when everyone else sits down. It's about helping when everyone else asks what's in it for them. It's about leading with love, even when the world pushes back. At what point do we say, man, we gotta work this thing out, Courtney asks about America's racial divisions. This is costing too much money, too many lives. We've gotta work this thing out.
The question is, what will it take for us to say we need each other?
We need each other, we can't make it. Look at people, you can tell there's all these different shades of us. How did that happen? That happened because white and black got together. We can't deny that there's white blood coursing through us and black blood coursing through. We're all mixed up together. But to try to pretend like we're not and that we're better than, we already saw where that leads. Nobody wants another civil war. Nobody wins. And that's Courtney B. Vance, a man who spent his childhood watching history unfold outside Motown's doors, who survived Detroit's riots, who navigated all-white schools, who built a 26-year marriage through faith and vulnerability, who turned personal tragedy into a mission to save lives, and who continues using every role, every platform, every moment to remind us that we're all stitches, broken pieces searching for our ohana, our family, our place to belong.